Welcome to this webinar entitled Riverside Properties and Conveyancing, the Key Issues Considered. My name is Lorraine Richardson, and for those of you who don't know, I am a solicitor and legal trainer. Been doing both for a very long time. When I was in practice full-time, I was a partner and the culp for my sins, but now I'm freelance and do a lovely wide range of things, including I've written a couple of books and the details are on the screen, and I locum, and of course I do work for lovely people like MBL. So very happy to be here delivering this webinar. If you want to get in touch with me at any time, you can find me at Adapt Law. But what am I going to talk to you about? Well, for many people, buying a riverside property, represents an idyllic dream come true. But of course, it can be a real headache for us. And there's quite a wide range of issues and risks that we need to either consider or make sure we advise on. I am thinking here in this webinar about the purchase of, a bricks and mortar dwelling, not a houseboat. Houseboat is a different kettle of bananas. And of course, anything that's new to you as the conveyancer invariably represents a risk. And what I'm going to cover is just some of the key practice points that you need to consider in these transactions. Of course, I can't consider everything in minute detail, but hopefully you will have a good idea of the things that might crop up when you hear that your client, or get the memo of sale confirming that your client is actually buying a property next to water, whether it's a river or, some sort of watercourse, lake, whatever. And the interesting thing, I suppose, is that whilst flooding, of course, is a key issue and a key consideration, there are quite a lot more points for us to think about as conveyancers. So we can't underestimate those. So what am I going to cover? Well, we need to think about the risks of buying a property next to a river or watercourse. We obviously need to think about searches and inquiries. And really, perhaps, a bit of a spoiler alert, I've posed the question, is flooding the only problem? And of course, the answer to that is no, albeit it's a major one. And of course, directly linked to that is the issue of buildings insurance. Particularly on the issue of flooding, I do think we need to be quite careful and think about how much inquiry should we make? How much information should we try to find out as the conveyancer on this purchase? Because actually, interestingly, it's perhaps not as much as you might think. Managing the client's expectation is a sort of theme throughout, really. And I think what I mean by that is making sure you sort of advise throughout the transaction. Your client probably, saw the property on a nice sort of breezy afternoon, with the sliding doors leading to the decking or patio that wafts down to the river sort of open and the breeze drifting in, and it all looking sort of horribly beautiful. But actually, and that's what your client is seeing in their mind's eye.